Making your way in the world today.
This memo just in from corporate. Attention, neutral ground, Corey Johnson. The program will not be seen on Tuesday. So strange. July 18th from 4 to 6. Instead, 4 straight reruns of Cheers. Episodes from over 40 years ago. Let's celebrate! Exclamation point. Sign the management. We say the hell with that. We're calling number 9, Mr. Drew Brees, live from La Jolla, California. We're going to cancel Cheers and instead the Neutral Ground program. That's right. It's not Boston. It's New Orleans. Yeah, you, right? A hot, humid July afternoon in New Orleans. Our typical weather, mid-90s. Feels like $104 out there. Worse in some spots. It's hot. You know the drill. Lots of agua, H2O, water. Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated, people. My aunt used to tell me, she was like born in like 1905, like a great aunt. Your kidneys need a bath and a shower, drink lots of water. I was like, all right. That was the thought even back in the olden days. The olden days where, you know, everybody smoked cigarettes and stuff like that. Hey, tomorrow, got to hype this because I love getting these guys on. It's an underrated segment. Another edition of Hillier and Hennigan, right-leaning Quinn Hillier, left-leaning Ellis Hennigan, national pundits. They'll join us tomorrow on the program around 4:20 in about 24 hours and 12 minutes. In about 12 minutes, 4:20 this afternoon, Councilman Oliver Thomas will join us on the program. Discuss violent crime, murders, NOPD chief search. He's running for mayor. I could go on and on and on. All kinds of questions for Councilman Oliver Thomas, City of New Orleans. He'll join us in 12 minutes. You can join us right now via the Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480, 766-9480, area code 504-766-9480. A lot to discuss. I've got some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. Some holdover questions still out there. Let me see what's still out there. Longest bridge over water continuously. Longest bridge over water continuously in the world. Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse can be yours. At its peak, how many golf courses did New Orleans' own City Park have? At its peak, how many golf courses? Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. Which pro baseball team invented the tarp? I saw today on Twitter, 40 men pulling a tarp across a baseball infield and somebody going, 100 years later, this is the best baseball can do. There's no automated tarp system. There's no fanned out tarp system that works. Which pro baseball team invented the tarp? Putting a tarp over the infield to keep it dry when a storm would come through. Give me the answer to that. I've got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Fastest speed indoors for a car. It was a Porsche, that electric Porsche, about 102 miles an hour. Where did that take place? Fastest speed indoors for a car. The speed was 102 miles an hour. I'm looking for the place, the building that it took place in. It'd be the world record, indoor speed record for a car, 102 miles an hour. Name the building. You got answers? Good, because if you got answers to these questions, any of them, I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. WoodhouseSpas.com. WoodhouseSpas.com. They're in Mid-City, New Orleans. They're in Metairie near North Kenner. They're in Mandeville. They're in Slidell. They're in Baton Rouge. 5 area locations. Longest bridge over water continuously. Longest bridge in the world over water continuously. At its peak, how many golf courses did New Orleans City Park have? Which pro baseball team invented the tarp? Fastest speed indoors for a car, 102 miles an hour. Where did that take place? Which building? You got answers? 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse can be yours. 766-9480. 766-9480. 4 o'clock hour brought to you by Young's Dry Cleaning. Tired of your dry cleaner? Want to experience the best? Since 1940, over 83 years. Literally a New Orleans institution. Walk-up locations, free pickup and delivery. Manless locker locations all over the city. To find out more, youngsdrycleaning.com. Youngsdrycleaning.com. 4 o'clock hour brought to you by Young's Dry Cleaning. Find them at youngsdrycleaning.com. Veto session, Baton Rouge. We get exactly what we deserve in Louisiana. Exactly. Total justice. First off, the veto session taking place. Second, lots of citizens packing the House chamber and the citizens. Citizens packing the House chamber and the Senate chamber. Very concerned. Very concerned. House Bill 81, requiring teachers to use pronouns that match a child's birth certificate. There are 105 House reps. There are 39 senators. How many of them do you think know what a pronoun is? Seriously. I think most of them, but I bet you dozens and dozens of 39 senators, 105 House reps do not know what a pronoun is. But they're hell-bent about voting on this one. That veto failed by 3 votes, 67 to 29. House Bill 648, that veto was overridden. That veto, 75-23 vote. A ban for doctors, physicians from prescribing hormone therapy, puberty blockers, no surgeries. As far as hormones and puberty blockers, I think it's like a ridiculous few in the state. And then for surgery, there is none. It's not like, yeah, I go to Dr. So-and-so. He's a great knee guy. And also he can, swap out your you-know-what if you're thinking about a sex change therapist. Knees and it's all the same stuff. Same parts. Uni-body construction. I guess that's what that means. Anyway, this never happens in Louisiana, yet we call a special session. The citizens come out. It is a major concern for the Louisiana citizenry. A major concern. Just mind-blowing, mind-boggling, the priorities in Louisiana, believing what we want to believe, what we hope is true, not what is, ignoring results, ignoring that we are getting our ass kicked and have been year in, year out, decade in, decade out. I'm 57. My entire adult life. I'm 16, 17, 18. The bottom falls out. 83, 84. Unlike Texas, no diversity of economy. The oil and gas industry crushes New Orleans. Then we just let, places like Houston come in and take all our white-collar oil and gas jobs, all the buildings downtown, no longer oil and gas buildings. Energy city is Houston now. Just destroyed us. We let it happen. Can't blame Houston. Port of Houston, kicking our port. Go on and on and on. I mean, there are more containers moved in Mobile than New Orleans. What was Gulfport next? We like losing. Losing's easy. Worrying about LSU on Saturday night.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
River Cities. Total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
It is HOT hot out there. Stay hydrated. 95 degrees. Feels like 104. Thank goodness for Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys at River City's Total Maintenance. Every afternoon we broadcast live from the Buddy Delaberto River City's Total Maintenance Studios. They're honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. Those are the three things you want. Those are the three things you need. Honest. I don't want to learn about air conditioning. I just want to trust my guy who's working on my AC. Air conditioning experts. I don't want to wait around while they're trying to figure it out, misdiagnose, try again. I want it diagnosed right, fixed right the first time right away. Air conditioning experts. And they come immediately. Your AC's not working. I just said it's 95, feels like 104. You want it working yesterday. They realize you're more than inconvenienced and uncomfortable. So they come immediately. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. Find them at NOLAAC.com. 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 That's all you need to know in case you need air conditioning help. Corey Johnson with you. A ridiculously hot Tuesday afternoon in July in New Orleans. Tomorrow, another edition of Hillier and Hennigan. Yeah, you right. I guess you got to love Charles Barkley. I like Charles Barkley, tells it like it is, unfiltered, not worried about cancel culture, seems to do his homework, seems to only talk about and discuss things that he kind of knows what he's talking about, or he'll say as much, I'm not too familiar with this or that, it seems like this. But Barkley was dogging those folks that stopped drinking Bud Light, kind of ripping them on social media. Hey, why not New Orleans for SEC Media Days? Nashville's hosting. It's been in Birmingham, Atlanta, I think Dallas next year. Why not SEC Media Days in New Orleans? Open Championship Week. We call it the British Open. The Brits get upset about that. Corey Johnson with you on a hot Tuesday afternoon. Councilman Oliver Thomas is with us as well. How you doing, Oliver?
Man, I'm doing good, young man. Is it hot enough for you?
Yeah, geez and Pete's. Hey, speaking of our gymnasiums, libraries, civic center type buildings, community center type buildings, are all those pretty much up and running in the metro area in neighborhoods where elderly folks with health conditions can get in air conditioning if they don't have that at their house?
Yeah, the libraries and the gyms are rolling right now. But man, I mean, key is if you're looking around the country, man, infrastructure, roadways, highways are buckling.
Yep.
Streets and cities are cracking. This is unbelievable, man.
No, it's some of the hottest temperatures. Look at Phoenix. What did they say, Oliver? They might hit a record like $119 temperature.
Yeah. They had I think 3 or 4 or 5 days of 114.
That's just not livable.
Well, I'm not saying it's all climate change, but whatever's going on, it needs to change.
Yeah, I was talking to a buddy of mine yesterday about that. It's not so much that we're going to hurt the planet like it's going to go away. We're just going to affect the planet enough where it hurts us.
Bingo. Hey, Corey, you hit the nail on it. I tell folk all the time. Look, in our lifetime, the planet's going to be here. The question is, will we be here, or what quality of life will we have?
Yeah,
that's actually it.
Yep, that's all it really is. Oliver Thomas is with us. Speaking of quality of life, Oliver, I mean, I see your posts on Twitter. I mean, once we had you on either the last time or the time before that, you were just very bummed out, and rightfully so, with a a young woman and her young daughter murdered in her vehicle. Violent crime in New Orleans, murders, especially now, like women and kids.
Yeah.
The kids, it's we're like numb to it as well. It's disheartening.
Well, I mean, I said that in my interview the other day, but the reporter started with crime was down in my district 41%, and carjackings were down, and we're like, but how do you tell that to the person who just lost a sister or aunt or a grandmother or a wife or a child? The violence is so indiscriminate. I don't think we can judge our success based on whether crime is going up or down. It's the type of crime now that seems to be so random, so indiscriminate, where everybody is a potential victim. I don't think we've seen that type of violence in this country or in this city be so random. I don't think I have.
It's crime down overall, down in most areas, but actually increasing in the violent areas, Oliver.
Well, one of the things in the hotspots in District E, especially given the extra police presence that the chief has, and then the work with the Operation Golden Eagle with Colonel Lamar Davis, and some of our hotspots has actually gone down. But to me, I've never understood how we police hotspots, and we were talking about that with a group the other day. You can look back 30 years, right? And it's the same general hotspots for the last 30 years. So why aren't we doing something sustainable in those communities? You can walk up to a map. You could do that, right? Ray Charles could walk up to a map, and if he knew, put his finger, knew where the area was, he would know that area has been a murder capital or a violence capital, right?
Yep.
So what are we doing different, right, in terms of presence, in terms of resources, in terms of the community coming together to deal with that? And we haven't answered that question. Now, we've had success, but it hasn't been sustainable. So I don't think we can stick our chest out or beat our chest until we see a decade or so, or years, right, where we're not on that violence roller coaster. And that's what our greatest challenge is, to me anyway, Corey.
I agree. I think, Oliver, one thing is the city's never seen the DA, the judges, the magistrates, the police chief, the council, the mayor, all in one place, community leaders.
Great point.
In one place going, what's the goal? How do we get there? What do we all agree on? What do we don't agree on? And let's focus on the things we agree on and reaching this goal where everyone's on the exact same page.
I've been saying the last time it happened was in the mid to late 90s when we had a 65% reduction in violent crime, 68% reduction in overall juvenile crime. And we, in the city, actually had some growth amongst this middle class. We have not seen that level of cooperation. Corey, I'll say this is a different time politically, man. A lot of our elected officials don't have institutional knowledge. They don't go back to what used to work to see if you can institute those things. We also have a lot of new people, in many cases, who are kind of learning how to connect the dots. You have a lot of political interest now. Is a lot heavier than actually working with someone. I've actually tried to set up meetings and had elected officials say they wouldn't meet with a certain elected official. I had never seen that. You and I can go back to the Pepe Bruno, Sherman Copeland days. No matter how different they were, they worked together. You can go back to the Dorothy Mae Taylor, Peggy Wilson, Joe Russo, and Jim Singleton days. Nothing stopped them from working. Yeah, they had their moments, but they would put all of that aside to sit down and kind of work together to get stuff done. This is a different kind of political time we're in.
Boy, those are great examples. Dorothy Mae Taylor, Peggy Wilson.
and you remember the moments that they had, right?
Oh, yeah.
But you also remember when they had that big meeting when in the late 80s when Sidney was mayor, when they had that big meeting where they all came together, man. They got Sidney before the council to deal with that crime surge there. So I'm hoping we can have some moments like that in the future where folk come together. Corey, you'll remember those clandestine meetings with the business community and the mayors and council members where they would meet at the Puncher Train and other places to talk about How can we work together? That doesn't happen anymore.
Well, you've got the NOLA coalition. I guess that's a, overt version of that, not a clandestine meeting type thing.
Yeah, but when you were talking about when folk would come together, look, when you have those private working meetings, you can say what you want, get it off your chest, and come to some consensus about what you like, what you don't like, who you don't like, and how you want to work together. Those public or overt meetings you have, you can talk about transparency and all that, but you're not going to have the type of real discussion, right?
Yep.
And work, and angst and pushback to get what needs to be done like they used to do.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Now, if the one side works with the other side, that side thinks that you're a sellout.
You're a sellout.
And you could lose votes. It's
well, if you lose votes and save lives, guess what? You're not going to lose votes. If you lose votes and help make our community better, you're not going to lose votes. I think they proved that. I don't understand it today that with more technology, I think people should be more advanced. Those days back then, it seemed like people could put their personal feelings aside.
Yep.
To get in the room, and hopefully that'll come back. But all I can tell you is that it's a different kind of age.
No. It's a different level. It's gone down a few levels lower, and I don't know how to say it. Like in the past, there was an integrity or honor system or something in politics, but if there was, it is definitely long gone today. Hey, Oliver, hang on. We're coming right back. Gonna knock out a quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Councilman Oliver Thomas is with us on the program for a few minutes. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon. Hey, Oliver, how's the NOPD chief search going? Why the lack of transparency?
Now, you know, I've been around a little while, and we've talked to some experts. And if you talk to Dr. Lee, one of the leaders in ICP with the other organizations, it's secrecy is involved in a lot of the chief search, because there are a lot of them who don't want to put their name in because of their position in their community. It would jeopardize that, as well as, you know, from what the experts are saying, it would compromise a lot of the folk and limit your ability to get some of these top-notch people. So if you'll remember that remember the Mark Morial search, and then all of a sudden, at the last minute, he picked who he wanted. He picked Pennington. If you remember the Landrew search, we didn't know who it was until it was down to 2 people, and then he picked Chief Surpass. So the lack of transparency or doing it like this is common in a lot of places, and it's been common here too.
Why so many local government, I don't know, watchdog type groups have been critical of that? And can we accept the norm in New Orleans, or should we be hyper aware of the corrupt nature of the city and be hyper transparent in a situation like this, and maybe let the police chiefs know, like, hey, you're applying for this gig, the word might get out. If you have to keep it secret, I don't know how that's going to be possible.
Well, I think that's a legitimate question the other way, especially given the temperature how people feel about politics. But look at political polling today, right? Nobody feels really good about anything that the political system does, from Congress to locals, communities. And then when you talk about transparency, we hear people who tout transparency until it's an opportunity for them to be transparent.
Yep,
now,
this mayor.
You know, maybe your point is a legitimate one, that given the public distrust, maybe this was a time to look at doing it differently, but that's not what we got. And maybe in the future, but I don't know. I think the political system is going to have to work really, really hard to regain some trust, because think about it, right? You know, I'll never forget a poll that was done last year with the mayor and the city council, and people were talking about how low the mayor's numbers was. But when you looked at the council numbers, they were pretty much the same. So as a body, people felt the same way.
I think the mayor was at about 30%. You guys were at 43, I believe, something like that.
Yeah. And in another poll, it was pretty much the same. I think in the Turbinik poll. So, you know, it's hard for the pot to call the kettle back in an environment where people have general distrust for government. And I think it may take a couple of administrations or generations or two to build that back up, because it's easy. you look at the Biden and Trump, right?
Yep.
If you do a poll, nobody likes any of them. But if you do a poll within their parties, that's the only one they like.
Oh no, of course, no, and someone will win. It can be a hold your nose. You've got two piles of what in front of you, and you have to eat one. Right. Pick your poison. Hey, Council President J.P. Morrell, for whatever it's worth, he said the NOBD chief search is not transparent. He said it undermines the public trust in the process. What do you say to JP?
Well, I mean, I think that's his opinion, but I just cited a few examples. History, but I think it goes to your central point, and for people to listen, I think that's an important one. Are we in an age now where transparency, no matter what it may cost you, is the only way to regain public trust? And I haven't had anyone in the press or media ask the question or phrase it like that. And I think that's now what maybe we have to begin to look at. Is it this time when, even if transparency helps you, that you got to risk that, because we're in a time where there's so much public distrust that you're better off letting them know on the front end. Corey, I think that's something to consider right now. I think it's a good point.
Hey, the tree falling in Jackson Square is the city's negligent, and that's just we have a lot of problems like this all over the city, or that's just some fluke thing that happened, in your opinion?
Hey, it's a little bit of both, but it's a city tree.
Yeah, yeah.
If a city tree hits a private citizen, the city is responsible for their tree. It should have been inspected. It should have been trimmed or pruned, and it's a freak accident, but it's a freak accident with a city tree on a private citizen.
Yeah, I'm not a lawyer. Morris Bart apparently is. He's helping out the DA's office, but he's suing the city. I'm confused.
It's a different world. It's a different world. It's a different world we live in, man. And and you're talking about crime. I got a lot of frustration and hurt within my own family. Two very people in our family are close to us were victims of crime. One, they still have not got the people who shot up a car 57 times. My niece still struggles to walk now.
Wow.
She has fragments in her head. The young girl with her was dead. And we still don't know who it is. The young man who was raised in our house, Nick Harrison, who is closer to my family than some blood relatives. He called me uncle. I called him nephew. He was shot between the eyes, and the DA dropped the charges. My family is grieving. We hurt. We shed tears. We hurt. We still don't understand that. So that's two cases within my own family for people who we love, who there's no closure. And I can tell you, it's hurtful.
Oliver, just listening to that, it got me thinking of something I just recently saw. This old guy's pushing a cart, like an ice cream cart. Guy must be like 75. SUV pulls up. These three kids come out and just rob him. They're not violent, but they steal all his money and just drive off. The violence against elderly and children and women that used to never happen. We mentioned just how the politics has gone to this ugly level. I think kids see all these different things. It can be politics, it could be video games, it could be whatever. When adults are taking things up to a couple of levels different than it used to be, and honor and integrity and ethics and morals and working with the other side and things of that nature just go out the window. No, it's like these young kids think there are no rules then.
Well, Corey, I'm going to share something with you before I go that I think is important, right? No one's for locking up our kids, locking up black men, locking up children, locking up folks and just putting them in jail. But I met with a group of guys from the street who were involved in crime, guys who had really done some serious things, because I wanted to talk to them, right? I wanted to ask them how they felt. And to a man, and listen to me close, this is what they told me. One of them said, the turnstile system you guys are doing is wrong. So I asked him, what did you mean? He's saying, all of this catch and release, the way you're doing it doesn't work. I said, well, what do you mean when you say that? He said, when you just catch and release, you're not considering the life and property of their potential next victim. And when you just catch and release, and he cited, he said, look at how many juveniles were killed after y'all caught them and then let them go. You didn't even save their lives. And we had 8 kids that were killed in a period that went through the juvenile system and they let them back out on the street.
Yeah, no,
and so the person said, if you can't catch and release, you have to do something to sit them down for the consequences.
Yes, exactly. Consequences.
Work on changing behavior and let the beef die down and work on both ends.
Yep.
So these are guys who are some hardcore criminals.
No, that's
he said so in many cases the way y'all doing it, you ain't helping nobody because you're putting them right back out on the street to be killed. And he had a powerful point.
That's a hell of a powerful point. Hey, Oliver, can I get 1 more minute out of you?
All right, 1 more minute.
60 seconds. And check this out. I got 4 questions. So the first one, you got 20 seconds. The others, you only get 10 seconds each. You ready?
We'll do rapid fire. Let's roll.
Very rapid fire. That drawbridge over the West Pearl River in New Orleans East going in, it's in St. Tammany. Any way you get involved in that, that's like an evacuation route that needs to be fixed.
Man, I'm trying to get the Seabrook Bridge back open. Every year for the last couple of years,
good answer.
The same bridge is going up.
Yep.
Why does the state and our state officials allow us to have this problem during hurricane season? Doesn't make any sense.
No, you're right.
About it's got to stop.
The Seabrook first. That's in the city. Hey, real quick, the old Lowe's. Any movement?
I hope so. No, I just got an email today that says Goodwill Industries bought it. It wasn't who we were banking for, but at least now a reputable agency owns it. Now we're just going to see how we shape it and deal with the rest of the land. But we're going to have some really good meetings on that spot.
Goodwill Industries.
Good things coming.
All right, Six Flags.
Stalemate. Again, Nora still has not signed the lease with them. Still waiting. I don't know what the issue is. At some point, they got to, get off the pot.
Yep. Hey, Mackie Studios.
I talked to him. He was trying to get another parcel of land to deal that somebody else owns. That when the news broke, it went up on the price.
Yep.
But he's working on some other things. But we just opened 2 new great restaurants in New Orleans East that they're gonna do some specials on that are selling out. We just did a lithium battery manufacturer in Avando is going to be having their business here, and Propel Park in the East. So we're rolling.
I'm going to even cut you some slack since we're out of time. I'll ask you, are you running for mayor next time?
Oh, Lord, I'm running for my community and for sanity and trying to make it better. If we make it better, all things are possible, Corey.
Oliver, thank you so much.
Appreciate you, man. But that was a great question about the time we're in, though. I think we need to think about that. Talk to you later, man.
Yeah, you're right. Oliver Thomas, Councilman, City of New Orleans. Corey Johnson with you. We're coming right back. Don't move. Hot, humid Tuesday afternoon. Yeah, you right.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Talking about the Zulu King, y'all. Talking about the Zulu King. Talking about the Zulu King, y'all. Talking about the Zulu King.
If a Target was supposedly going there, and the mayor, you remember, kind of cocked off about it. Hey, a Target's coming to the Lowe's, and Target's like, we have no announcement, and they ran. It's probably a very precarious situation for Target to begin with. And the mayor got all giddy and opened her mouth, even said, maybe I shouldn't be saying anything. No, you shouldn't have been saying anything. Target ran. Target would have been great. But Target isn't ideal if you want to be picky and choosy, and beggars can't be. I'm just being picky and choosy because I can be. What would be ideal for the East would be something like an IKEA furniture store in that Lowe's, because it would attract people in New Orleans East to go there, and it would attract people from the region to go to New Orleans East. And you might have Outback Steakhouse and other things pop up around it because people came in to buy furniture from Kenner, Metairie, Slidell, the Mississippi Gulf Coast, the North Shore. There's no IKEA around here. People love that crap. They love Buc-ee's. They love Bass Pro Shop. We love all kind of different crap. IKEAs do really well on the East Coast. My buddy went to D.C. 30 years ago. We went to an IKEA in Virginia and bought him a bunch of furniture for his apartment. I'm not saying it's the greatest thing in the world. It's not the worst product in the world.
It's a very popular product. It's a European product. They're all over the East Coast. Nearest ones are in Texas and Florida. And IKEA would be something that would be bigger than the East. It would help the East for the people out there. It would be a regional magnet for people. And folks are going, people aren't going to go to an IKEA in New Orleans. Sure they are. It's interstate the whole way. They get off at the exit. They park in the parking lot, and they go in the IKEA. They come back in their car. They go home. The stuff's delivered to their house. They're going to the IKEA at the old Lowe's site in New Orleans East. But IKEA is not coming. So that would have been ideal, where it's bigger than the East. It draws people in from the region, would have been tremendous. A Target would be great, because it's a Target, employs a few hundred folks, lots of retail, tax dollars. There'd be some other stuff that would pop up around it. But you've got the Super Walmart, one exit down at Bullard. So it's kind of a redundancy of services. So getting an IKEA would be great. The IKEA's not coming. The Target's not coming. Goodwill Industries purchased the site. Great for Goodwill Industries. They probably stole it, got it super cheap. It's massive. It's a 250,000 square feet, 200,000 square foot Lowe's store, built 15 years ago. So it's relatively new. It's not some 30, 40-year-old store that needs a new roof, needs all kind of new stuff. The plumbing, the electrical shot, it's ready to go. It has been maintained. There's security out there. Lowe's wasn't letting it go. They weren't going to allow folks to break in and vandalize it. No, Goodwill Industries will probably put a lot of their stuff in that massive building. And then one little part of it might be like a retail center for Goodwill Industries. And then I'm assuming most of it will be like, like their warehousing and things of that nature. Might be their new headquarters where they get all in one spot. Great for Goodwill Industries. So for these. You get the Lowe's back in business, but it's not this. It ain't IKEA. It's not driving in, thousands of people a day. Literally. Can't we get something that's just like, wow, over the top, and it actually happens? So the old Lowe's is going to be a Goodwill Industry, superstore or something. The Six Flags, stalemate, no lease. Nora and Bayou Phoenix have yet to sign a lease. It's comical. It is laughable if it wasn't so sad and pathetic. Mackie Studios still trying to acquire land. That's the old Sam's Club, Walmart, pre-Katrina, across the street from the Lowe's, from the old Plaza site, the lakeside of of Reed and I-10, the lakeside of Reed and I-10. No, a lot of stuff discussed. Lincoln Beach, no shovel in the ground, nothing. New Orleans East, man. Oh, wow. Muhammad from the Kebab House on Vets has us on the television. I'll take some lamb shish kebab, some tabbouleh, fried football kibbe. Bring it on, Muhammad. And Muhammad, stop scaring the ladies out of the facility already. All right, I'm glad to be on the TV at the Kebab House. Yeah, you're right. No, I'm telling you, if you're in Metri over there, Vets and Homa by Drew Brees' Jimmy John, brah. Yeah, dude, Jimmy John. Never been to Jimmy John. Never will go to Jimmy John. I live in New Orleans. Po' boys everywhere. I'm not going to Jimmy John or Subway. Are you kidding? What's the point of that? Anyway, next door to Drew Brees' Jimmy John's, Vets at Home. Kebab House is pretty damn good. Middle Eastern. Palestinian run. They know what they're doing. Mason and his crew. What's that, blue boy? You like leftovers from Kebab House? Muhammad's a nice guy. Give him his props.
Don't call him Hikey. Call him Nike. All right. What's that? Some inside joke? What's that, Blue Boy? 5 o'clock power hour next. Yeah, you right.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers Breitling time, 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family-owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. Then we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry, superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
Susan Spicer joining us on the program.
Even when they presented me the award, the people that I look up to the most, Frank was there and Donald Link was there. It does cause you to reflect back and think about your whole career.
Maybe the Stella Brennan Award says that to you, like I've arrived.
It certainly is kind of the ultimate honor when it comes to cooking and hospitality in New Orleans and the world.
New Orleans style talk gumbo, served daily.
Doesn't get much better than that, huh?
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
One of the better theme songs. Music opens for a television series, Miami Vice. This was pretty cool in the day. Back in the mid-'80s. Crockett and Tubbs, cigarette boats, Ferraris. Miami. Yeah, you, right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. The 5 o'clock power hour is upon us. A hot, humid Tuesday afternoon. 95, 96 degrees. Feels like 105. Lots of water. Stay hydrated. It's hot out there. Hey, if you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed Councilman Oliver Thomas. New Orleans City Councilman Oliver Thomas joining us, talking about violent crime, murders in the city, the NOPD chief search. Also, some things out in New Orleans East, like getting the Seabrook Bridge working all the time. I asked him about the old Lowe's location at the Plaza site that was going to be a Target, apparently, until the mayor opened her mouth and basically dropped, cat poop in the punch bowl and wrecked the party. No, Target was like, we don't know what you're talking about. And they bailed. It was basically a done deal. Target was going to go into that Lowe's, convert that Lowe's to a Target. And the mayor cocked off about it, even said right after, maybe I shouldn't be saying anything. No, exactly right. Like a child, saying it and then saying, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Like a 12-year-old. So Target said, the hell with this. It was already iffy. We were, the vote was 51-49 to go to New Orleans. It wasn't some like 90-10. Everybody's on board. It was already precarious. So we'll thank you, but no, we'll go somewhere else. Goodwill Industries purchased the Lowe's building. I'm assuming it's going to be converted to a Goodwill Industries major facility, drop off, pick up, and then again, just guessing, 20% of that building, they'll like put in a wall by a door and a ceiling, and it'll become like a retail store. And behind that wall will be, a lot of the, no pun intended, behind the scenes stuff. Their major facility, what is it? A couple 100,000 square feet, could be 250,000 square feet, that Lowe's at the old Plaza site. Anyway, Goodwill Industries buying that. I think about that Lowe's site, and could you imagine an IKEA furniture store there? It doesn't matter to me. I'm probably not going to IKEA to buy furniture. Maybe I would. Who knows? It's not about me. It's about being a regional draw. New Orleans East would have something where an IKEA at I-10 and Reed at the old Plaza site, people from Slidell, from Mississippi Gulf Coast, from the North Shore, from the West Bank, from Metairie, Kenner, Laplace, would be coming to that IKEA, maybe as far away as Baton Rouge, Jackson, Mississippi. Mobile, Alabama. They'd be coming to that IKEA on I-10 and Reed in New Orleans East. Because that's what IKEA does. It is a regional draw. And there's the nearest ones are like in South Florida and in Texas. So that would have been a tremendous get for New Orleans East, moving New Orleans East forward. You know how many little pop-up retail places would be all around that IKEA? Restaurants and all kind of different stuff. You probably have 20, 30 different little retail things, just reviving that area by having an IKEA there. Instead, it's Goodwill Industries, and that's great for Goodwill Industries. That's great that the Lowe's is going to be back in business. They'll pull some tax dollars, but it's not a regional draw. It's not something that's incredible. It's like the Six Flags site. Oliver Thomas told us about that too. Stalemate. No lease with Nora and Bayou Phoenix. Six Flags site. I-10 and I-510. First off, you don't market it as the old Six Flags site or redevelopment of the Six Flags site. You market it as major development opportunity, I-10, I-510, right on the doorstep of the sportsman's paradise, 15 minutes from fresh, brackish, salt water, the best fishing in the world. You go to Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's. You pitch them that idea. You get people from Greater New Orleans Inc., from New Orleans and Company, people that are marketing pros that can put a proposal together, like how we landed the NBA, how we convinced a tough then commissioner, David Stern, to let the Charlotte Hornets from basketball crazy Carolina move to New Orleans. You get that effort, those folks in front of Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's. And you try to get the biggest Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's built. Most of those Bass Pro Shop Cabela's are 150 to maybe 200, 250,000 square feet, 180,000, 190,000 square feet. Like the one outside of Baton Rouge, the Cabela's and the Bass Pro Shop. They have both. One on I-12, one on I-10, right outside of Baton Rouge. Both. A Bass Pro Shop and a Cabela's. The largest ones, mothership in Missouri, about 500,000 square feet. The Pyramid in Memphis, the old arena converted to a Bass Pro Shop hotel, all kind of stuff, about 500,000 square feet. You build something like that or bigger, 750, 1 million square feet. You propose to them what to do. Boats launching, not into a fake man-made lake, but into real waters. Maybe a hotel, a lodge, cabins for hunting and fishing. Sky's the limit. That doesn't work. You go to Flying J Truck Stop. You go to Buc-ee's. You go to these types of folks. Regional, national, international. Try to lure in something special that is a game changer. You exhaust all efforts. You don't just put out some local, hey, y'all, Six Flags sites available. Because you know what you get then? You get a local guy, Troy Henry, good guy, and Bayou Phoenix. You've created a guy who has to go out and get all the stuff I'm talking about going to get. Instead of going to get the stuff and not having a guy to go get it. You'd have shovels in the ground already. Watch how quickly that Buc-ee's is going to open in Mississippi. Within 2 years, I'll bet you they break ground on that Buc-ee's before they break ground on Six Flags site or Mackie Studios in the East, or Lincoln Beach for that matter. No, the Buc-ee's is a go. That's a go for the Men's Exit in southern Mississippi. They're getting it. What are we getting? Nora and Bayou Phoenix have not signed a lease yet. It's a year and a half later. Forget not a shovel in the ground. They haven't signed a lease yet.
Stalemate. Can't bang it out. Can't figure it out. It's mind-blowing. Anyway, Oliver Thomas joined us with just some news. I always ask him about the Lowe's. Apparently, Goodwill Industries has purchased that. Six Flags, zero progress. Hey, the 5 o'clock powwow. Rainy Tuesday afternoon, some thunder showers in part of the metro. Be careful. And then hot and humid in other parts. This Tuesday afternoon, 5 o'clock powwow brought to you by Helm Paint and Decorating. 7 locations in Metro New Orleans. Free 2-hour delivery so you can keep working. High quality Benjamin Moore paints. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, you go to Helm. Do it once, do it right. They'll steer you in the right direction. For over half a century, Helm Paint and Decorating. Veto session going down in Baton Rouge. I'll fill you in on that big waste of time. This veto session, what they're trying to veto, some successes, some failures. Pretty much all-encompassing dichotomy of exactly what is wrong with Louisiana, where our priorities are. Corey Johnson with you. You are on the neutral ground. Yeah, you right. Don't move.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants, Leidenheimer French bread.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Yeah, you, right? Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Every day we do it from the Buddy Diliberto River City's Total Maintenance Studios. You'll need River City's Total Maintenance if your AC's acting funny. It's 95, feels like $1.04 out there. Ouch. Hey, I've got some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. Rouse's Market's phone lines, 766-9480. That's how you can participate in the program. 504-766-9480. Rouse's Market's phone lines, 766-9480. Longest bridge over water continuously in the world. Longest bridge over water continuously in the world. Give me the answer to that. I've got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. At its peak, how many golf courses were at New Orleans City Park? At its peak, how many golf courses were at New Orleans City Park? You got the answer to that? I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse. 766-9480. Rouse's Market's phone line, 766-9480. Which pro baseball team invented the tarp? Which pro baseball team invented the tarp? Pulling a tarp over the infield when it rains. The fastest speed indoors for a car, 102 miles an hour. An electric Porsche. Which building could handle that? Which building could handle a car doing 102 miles an hour? Have to be a big building. Give me the answer to any of those questions. I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse, 766-9480. Veto session. First off, just the veto session, ridiculous. Second, the House Chamber and Senate packed with Louisiana citizens, like so concerned, like this is a life or death situation, do or die, vital importance, like your kids' education, LSU being properly funded, infrastructure, billions of dollars, and new bridges, a bridge over the Mississippi in Baton Rouge. You think it's something like that, something just dire, concessions to get Microsoft and 1,000 jobs, a car plan on I-12. House Bill 81 requiring teachers to use pronouns that match the child's birth certificate. Ban doctors from prescribing hormones and puberty blockers. I mean, just unbelievable. Hey, Louisiana, let's let other states figure out all this minutia, all this stuff, and then just follow their lead. We shouldn't be leaders or jumping on the bandwagon of extremists. Let's let this kind of work its way through the system over the next few years. There's no urgency, and we'll figure it out. Urgency should be a lot of other things. Things that are urgent: education, infrastructure, economy, crime. My God, coastal erosion. Wake up. Why Louisiana is what it is. This. Just a self-fulfilling prophecy. Let's head to Metairie, Louisiana, a.k.a. New Orleans West, home of traffic, lots and lots of traffic. Frank joins us via the Rouse's Markets phone lines. What up, Frank?
Hey, man. I was going to try to answer one of the trivia questions.
All right.
The golf course question, was it 4?
City Park at its peak, 4 golf courses?
Yes, sir.
What would those 4 golf courses be, Frank?
East, west, north, south, and the south was the short course with the nice little, you had to go under the trellis.
Yeah, under the I-610 over by the museum, by Christian Brothers School.
Yes, sir.
That's
right.
pretty good, Frank. How old are you?
That's hard to remember. I think I'm 55. I went to Christian Brothers, actually.
Oh,
so
there you
I
go.
know all that.
There you
pretty
go.
well. Yeah.
Now, there was a 5th course, Frank. It'd be like you named after your dad. If you were named after your dad, they'd call you Junior. They had a junior course that I think was 18 holes. So there were really 5 18s. The junior course was a super duper shorty and not well kept up. And it was for like kids to go hack it around and learn on. I think Jesuit has a soccer field on one of the old fairways of the junior course, or used to, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, Frank, that's good enough for me. You are correct.
Yeah, you right. Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for her, Johnny?
It's really 5, but 4 major ones: east, west, north, south. The north is still there. The south is the, parade grounds area and City Bark and all that. And the east and west, I guess, in between Harrison and I-610, there's nothing there. But in between Fillmore and Harrison, kind of an east-west combo, the new South course, that's pretty damn nice, Frank. They did a great job with it.
Yep. Yeah, they did a great job. Absolutely.
Do you play?
I do. Well, actually, not so much anymore. I used to. I kind of had an injury. I got the clubs back out again. I haven't played in about 10 years, but I play, but I haven't played recently, but I might be inspired now.
There you go.
So
cool.
I'll get back out there.
There you go.
For sure. I mean, that's something New Orleans did well, is City Park. And I mean, there are all sorts of complaints. I have a lot of complaints, but City Park is really, really, it's nice. It's an Olmsted, municipal park. It's one of the top 5 parks in the country when you get right down to it. I mean, it's like, I don't know how many things we've got like that, but that's one.
You just slip in that Olmsted thing like that, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Now that's the architect that designed Central Park in New York too?
Yep, the Central Park and also
Chicago
park in Brooklyn. I forget the name of the park in Brooklyn. It's right on the point there, right across the river. And that's
in Williamsburg, right there.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, it's beautiful and it's hilly, and I mean that's almost a better park in a way than Central Park.
Central Park's pretty amazing in the middle of Manhattan.
It is.
It's insane.
It's the country's best park, but is it Prospect Park maybe?
Maybe Prospect Park. That sounds right.
Yeah,
well, Audubon Park and City Park, Frank, are world class.
They are. That's one thing we've done really well. So, yeah. Absolutely.
Hang on, Frank. We're going to get some info from you and tighten you up with a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. That's Frank in Metairie, a.k.a. New Orleans West, home of traffic, lots and lots of traffic. He's exactly right. Well, he was sort of right. 4 major golf courses. I was cutting him a little slack. Longest bridge over water continuously. You got the answer to that? I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse. Which pro baseball team invented the tarp? Bring the tarp in to cover the infield. I was just online today on Twitter or something, and they show, the 10 guys pulling the tarp over some major league ballpark, and they're like, 100 years later, that's the best that we can do? No mechanical tarp machine, still a bunch of dudes pulling the tarp over the infield. It's like, yeah, really hadn't changed at all. Someone's going to see that and go, yeah, we need some fan out thing. It goes under the stands. It can just come out. gutter system, keep it totally dry, blah, 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 blah. A new stadium will have it. Someone will invent it for existing stadium and retrofit it in. But it's a good point. And it got me thinking, because I just knew the answer of the pro baseball team that invented the tarp, came up with the tarp to cover the infield when it rains. Name that pro baseball team. May not even exist anymore. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. That's how you participate in the program. 766-9480. 766-9480. Fastest speed indoors for a car. An electric Porsche did it at 102 miles an hour. Which building did that take place in? World speed record. Porsche was very careful when they selected the building. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. If you have the answer to any of those questions, I got 50 big bucks for you at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. 4 o'clock hour, Councilman Oliver Thomas joined us to talk about violent crime, murders, the NOPD chief search, transparency, all of that and more. I asked him about the old Lowe site at the plaza, at the old plaza site, Reed and I-10 in the east. He said Goodwill Industries has purchased that building. Goodwill Industries has purchased the Lowe's building. Is that good that that building gets back into commerce? Yes. But I mean, a Goodwill store just sort of underwhelming. And I love Goodwill and what they do. I'm not knocking them. I wish I bought the Lowe's building. Seriously. Corey's going to keep his, RV and motorcycle collection and boats and car collection. And there's, just it's underwhelming. And I can't stress enough, I love Goodwill Industries and what they do. And I'm not knocking them at all. It's talking about the bigger picture. The Target would have been nice there, but the mayor opened her mouth and ran them off. But also a Target would not just, it's not like it's ideal. It would have been great. I'm not complaining. Beggars can't be choosy. You know what would have been better than a Target? An IKEA furniture store. Because the Target, it's going to draw from the area. But there are folks that go to the Target in Clearview and Metairie. There are West Bankers that go to the Target on Manhattan. There'd be people in New Orleans that would go to the Target in the East. And it would draw from outside of New Orleans East a little bit, because it's a Target. And there aren't multiple ones. That Walmart Superstore, Bullard and I-10, doesn't draw beyond the East, really. They've got one in Chalmette. Chalmette people aren't going to go there. You've got one in not the Far East, but, right off Chef Highway and Press. So those folks aren't going to go over the Industrial Canal and go farther out in the East. They've got a Walmart. So there are multiple Walmart superstores. It's not like a Target where there are 2 in Metro New Orleans. But still, not ideal. IKEA furniture, ideal. It would draw folks from the East. It would draw folks from New Orleans. It would draw folks to I-10 and Reed in New Orleans East, from Metairie, Kenner, the North Shore, from Slidell, from the Mississippi Gulf Coast. You might have people coming from as far away as Baton Rouge, Jackson, Mississippi, Mobile, Alabama. That's what an IKEA would do, because the nearest one to our area is Texas and South Florida. But did New Orleans East leaders, did politicians in New Orleans in general go after someone like an IKEA and talk to them? Maybe even present a proposal to them, like doing their homework. Here's the demographic. Here's the people within 50 miles, people within 200 miles. Here's the nearest IKEA. Here's the, amount of people that buy furniture. Here's da-da-da. How many people drive by in a car, on and on and on. Sell it to them. But no one thought like that. Target was coming. It was right on the fence. Obvious precarious for them. Coming to New Orleans East, redoing a Lowe's building. We'll do it. The mayor spouts off, even says afterwards, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Target bails. IKEA, not even discussed. Now it's Goodwill Industries, and I love Goodwill Industries, but not a big needle mover. Six Flags site, stalemate. It's comical almost. Bayou Phoenix and Nora have not signed a lease yet. There is no lease signed with the Six Flags site. That was over a year and a half ago. I said then, in a year, there won't be a shovel in the dirt. It's a year and a half, not a shovel in the dirt. Nothing done. Stalemate, no lease signed. Six Flags site, the city just markets it locally. We get Troy Henry and Bayou Phoenix. The runner-ups are comical. Drew Brees and Demario Davis. I love them as Saints players. That's the runner-ups on who's going to redevelop the Six Flags site. That says it all. Should have been Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's the winner. Flying J Truck Stop and Buc-ee's were runner-up. Something like that. Trying to work another plot of land to get the Buc-ee's in this too. Whatever. Instead of a IKEA or a Target even at the old Lowe's in the East, Goodwill Industries. Love Goodwill Industries. Good for them. Not a big needle mover. A Target would have brought some other retail around it. And IKEA would have brought 20, 30 different retail entities around it. Maybe more. Six Flags site. World's largest Bass Pro Shops Cabela, their flagship store. Flying J Truck Stop, Buc-ee's, whatever. Something regional, national, international. My God. Instead, just second, third rate, can't even get anything done. Bayou Phoenix and Six Flags, no lease signed. And the old Lowe's site, Goodwill Industries, taken over. Just kind of a deflating. Mackie Studios, nothing being done there. That's across the I-10 from the old Lowe's. It was a Sam's Club and a Walmart 18 years ago, but before Katrina. Sam's Club and Walmart never came back, abandoned the buildings, tore them down, probably like 2007. And it's just been a cleared lot ever since. Mackie Studios, nothing being done on that. Lincoln Beach, nothing being done on that. Nothing. Councilman Oliver Thomas joined us in the 4 o'clock hour. To end that segment with that was sort of depressing. Kind of depressing. Hey, every day this program on radio, on television, live streaming, KareTalks.com. We're on YouTube. Corey Johnson Neutral Ground. Click to subscribe. Every day it's brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. That's the big store, Lamarck Ford, for nearly 50 years in Kenner. The Lamarck Automotive Complex on the car corner of Williams Boulevard and I-10 in Kenner. Right on the corner, right on the price. Lamarck Lincoln, #1 in the state. And now Lamarck Crescent City Ford. That's right. The legendary Ford truck and SUV dealership now under the Lamarck umbrella. Every day the program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. And now Lamarck Crescent City Ford. Boy, a hot, humid Tuesday afternoon. 95 degrees, feels like 104. Agua water. Hydrate. Some thunder showers in the area, isolated thunder showers hitting different parts of the city. Hey, tomorrow, Another edition of Hillier and Hennigan. Right-leaning Quinn Hillier, left-leaning Ellis Hennigan will join us. This sums up Louisiana pretty concisely, this veto session. We get exactly what we deserve in Louisiana. Exactly. Total justice. The things we worry about. The Capitol was packed with citizens. The House and Senate chambers packed with concerned citizens. You want to know what it was about? House Bill 81 requiring teachers to use pronouns that match the child's birth certificate. House Bill 648 banning doctors from prescribing hormone therapy or puberty blockers, no surgery. Never been a surgery. There's no surgeon in Louisiana that does those surgeries. Can we come up with legislation that is meaningless? Because it's meaningless or harmful even, the governor vetoes it. Then we have a special session to override this essentially meaningless legislation. There are no kids having sex change therapies in Louisiana. Zero, none, zero. The Capitol was packed. That's why I say, take it however you want. If you get offended by this, you're one of those folks. At LSU Law School, day one, they say, look to your left, look to your right. One of those people won't be there in a year. Law school's too hard. Don't want to be a lawyer. Don't have time for this. I just did undergrad. I don't feel like doing postgrad. I'll go somewhere else for law school. My life's changed. I'm getting married. Whatever. Look to your left, look to your right. One of those won't be there in a year. In New Orleans, in Louisiana, look to your left, look to your right. One of those people is second rate. One of those people is a loser. One of those people concerned about crap that just bogs us down, like this special session, this veto session. It's not about education. It's not about LSU becoming academically great. It's not about billions of dollars in road and bridges, infrastructure improvements. It's not about, real crime change, criminal justice system, prison system, real reforms. It's not about the economy and bringing in some car plan on I-12 that's going to employ 5,000 folks. Has nothing to do with any of that. It's spinning wheels, doing absolutely nothing, wasting our time. If you don't believe me, just look at Louisiana the last 40 years since the oil bust, when the bottom fell out. We have yet to recover. 40 years of stagnation at best, really going backwards, surrounded by a rocket ship of growth. Hard to miss it, hard to not be able to jump on for the ride, but we have. Texas, fastest growing state in the country the last 40, 50 years. The South, fastest growing region in the country the last 40, 50 years. We're surrounded by it and missed it. Didn't miss the boat, missed the rocket ship. No, because of this. Let's have a special session, go to Baton Rouge, and worry about transgender and things of this nature. No, look to your left, look to your right. One of those Louisiana people is a loser. One of those Louisiana people is second rate. One of those Louisiana people doesn't want to win. They want the easy way out. They want to believe what they hope is true, what they want to believe is true. Act like children, not adults, and believe what is, where the facts lead us. No, this kind of crap in Baton Rouge is exactly why we are where we are in Louisiana. The epitome of self-fulfilling prophecy. Boy, you got to love Charles Barkley dogging those that stop drinking Bud Light. He said, you're against homosexuals, blank you. You're against trans folks, blank you. And drink the Bud Light already. It really is strange. It really is. I don't know of a product that I love, that I consume. What would get me off of that? What would get me off of that? That they could do politically that would make me go, I'm not eating that anymore. I'm not drinking that anymore because of a real or fake political stance that they took, didn't take, whatever. Social media, regular media, whatever. Hey, speaking of media, why not New Orleans for SEC Media Days? Nashville's hosting it. Birmingham has hosted it. Atlanta is hosting it. I think they're going to Dallas next year. Why not New Orleans for SEC Media Days? Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers has been with you about 50 years. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street. Real diamonds, natural diamonds, 1 billion years old. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. New Orleanians that know Friend and Company Fine Jewelers when it comes to engagement rings. Diamond engagement rings, real natural diamonds. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Yeah, you right. Hey, Trey Yen is open for dinner. It's not Chinese food, it is Chinese cuisine. For nearly 50 years, Trey Yen in Mandeville. What an incredible facility. Sits on a few acres, parking on either side, left or right side. You walk up through ponds of koi and waterfalls. Just a beautiful building. And then inside, a tremendous dining room in the center where you go up and then you go down with 2 dining rooms on either side. And boy, the cuisine at Trey Yen. Some of the finest Chinese food in America. Nationally recognized. We're blessed. The Wong brothers know what they're doing. It's at the foot of the causeway in Mandeville, or about 30 minutes, 25 minutes from Lakeside Shopping Center for you South Shore folks across the causeway. Nice conversation with friends and family. I love doing that. That's a great date night. Talk for 30 minutes, 25 minutes, and then you're at Trey Yen. Don't forget the Tung Cho sauce, Trey Yen in Mandeville. Hey, tomorrow, right-leaning Quinn Hillier, left-leaning Ellis Hennigan join us. Another edition of Hillier and Hennigan. That'll be around 4:20 tomorrow. Hey, around 4:20 today, earlier today, last hour, Councilman Oliver Thomas joined us. The old Lowe's in the New Orleans East has been sold to Goodwill Industries. Not going to be a Target, not going to be an IKEA. Yeah, I was in La La Land. I was dreaming. You can laugh all you want. You can have these negative attitudes. I don't want to go to New Orleans. People don't want to go to the East, blah, blah, blah. You put an IKEA at Reed and I-10, people are going to come from as far away as Baton Rouge, Jackson, Mississippi, and Mobile, Alabama to go to that IKEA. And they don't give a crap that it's in New Orleans East because they don't know anything about New Orleans East. They're going to get off the interstate. They're going to pull into the parking lot. They're going to go into the IKEA and get their furniture. And then they're going to come out, and surrounding that IKEA is going to be different retail like Outback and crap like that. And they're going to go eat there. It would have been a tremendous boost for New Orleans East, a game changer, because it not only would have put something into that Lowe's site, it would have created a bunch of businesses around it. No, the Goodwill Industry, I love Goodwill Industries. They're great. I love them. What they do for people is great. More power to them. It's just underwhelming. IKEA would have been a regional get. It's like the Six Flags site, Bayou Phoenix, which, by the way, A stalemate. They're still trying to bang out a lease. Nora and Bayou Phoenix have yet to sign a lease on the Six Flags site. It's a joke. It's a joke. You know, it's a bigger joke, the runner-up to Troy Henry and Bayou Phoenix for the rights to develop the site. Drew Brees and Demario Davis. I love them as Saints players. That's the city's second choice to redevelop the Six Flags site. Not like Flying J Truck Stop or Buc-ee's or Cabela's Bass Pro Shop or some water park or amusement park or something. Drew Brees and Demario Davis, some farm for kids. I mean, it's pathetic. So underwhelming. Could you imagine if the Lowe's at the Plaza site was going to become an IKEA and the Six Flags was going to be the world's largest Bass Pro Shops Cabela's? It'd be a game changer for New Orleans East. People would take notice. They'd be like, if these folks are investing here, maybe I should take another look at New Orleans East. Instead, it's a Goodwill Industries in the Lowe's and the Six Flags site, no lease signed as of today. A stalemate, no progress being made. Mind-blowing. Hey, why aren't you at Katie's right now in Mid-City? What are you waiting for? It's as New Orleans as it gets. In between Bienville and Canal Street. In between Carrollton and Doc Francis Parkway, like a few blocks behind Angelo Bricato's. Iberville, corner Talamacus, the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. Why aren't you at Katie's right now?
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans. Leidenheimer French bread. My Situ, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe. Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right, Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you on a Tuesday afternoon. It's not a big economic engine by any means, but it's something. Why not New Orleans for SEC Media Days for football? They go to Birmingham, they've been Atlanta, now Nashville, supposedly Dallas next year. I guarantee you talk to all these media types, they'd like to go to New Orleans over Birmingham, Atlanta, Nashville, or Dallas. Anyway, why not New Orleans for SEC Media Days? The Open Championship cranking up Thursday from Royal Liverpool in England. They're expecting some windy, wet weather potentially. Yeah, I like that personally. See how the pros handle it. Everybody has to deal with it. Hopefully you don't have like the morning crew going off in the rain, afternoon, no rain, or the opposite. Anyway, what's that, Blue Boy? You're bummed about the old Lowe's and the Six Flags. New Orleans East can't get a break. No, you're right. You're right. What else? Tell folks to join us tomorrow, Wide Open Wednesday, 4 p.m.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.